episode of Joe's RX Coffee. I was gonna say Abbott and Costello, but I looked up and they were both kind of on the skinny side. So it's Laurel and Hardy.
Mm-hmm.
Just silent film actors. There was one that was bigger and the other one was skinnier. I don't know if you know.
Abbott and Costello. I think of the movie Arrival. That's like the reference that I have from
Yeah. No,
the two aliens. Do you remember that?
In Arrival, the aliens.
Yeah,
the others were like ink blots.
They wrote in ink blots. They spoke in ink blots, but they were like these cephalopod type creatures. What's up?
Yeah,
Internet world.
I know you've seen these guys.
Oh, there you go, Laurel. That's funny.
They were silent film actors, and they went to the talkies.
Like Keenan and Kel.
Yes.
That's funny.
Well, welcome back, bro. You've been here a few weeks, but
I'm here all the time.
we just film whenever we want to film, because who cares, right?
Gives.
At the end of the day, who cares? Yeah, so I'm waiting for you to throw me off. So.
I'm not gonna. I'm letting you dig your own grave.
Nah, I got stuff to talk about, bro.
Oh yeah? What do you got to talk about?
So I watched that movie Spectral.
Oh, okay.
That was a good movie. So like, just so I get a premise, right? Like
Yeah.
they're fighting some, which I thought were like aliens in the beginning, but
Yeah.
it wasn't. And
What was it?
it was people's like, they 3D printed consciousness. If you really think about it.
Kind of, yeah.
But it made me think about Elon Musk and his robots that he's coming. Not robots,
I
but
didn't know it was coming out of robots. I know about the Neuralink, cars, the fucking...
so that's all gonna play a part, right? So like, he has these robots that they're all like they look like they're in a spacesuit. They're like all white, and then from shoulder up, it's all black. And they're supposed to download your consciousness and your memories.
Right. Good luck with that.
So that's when the Neuralink is like leading up to.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
So what do you think about that?
I don't find that feasible. Like, I can see where people are concerned about AI, but you got to keep in mind that when you build something like that, or when you're developing a technology like that, that technology is only as good as what the person who's making it, how they program it.
Yeah.
Like, it's still bound by those rules. It has to be programmed a certain way. It's not just thinking on its own.
No, it's not. But that's, I guess that they're gonna build, like, the Neuralink is supposed to help with building like an artificial brain.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening. I've proved me wrong, which is cool. If it does come out, wow, we figured out a way to murder ourselves with technology. Cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I just don't see it happening.
But that is also like, but you haven't seen the show. The first season was dope. And,
Of what?
it's called Altered Carbon.
Yeah, I haven't watched that.
It's a legit show. Like, it's basically like you're considered sleeves, like the bodies.
That's what we are.
No, but so here's the thing. So like this guy's like a fugitive basically,
Yeah.
and he gets up and like he ends up in jail, and they need him for something. So 250 years on the line, they put his consciousness into a body.
Yeah.
And he's like basically on the run still.
Yeah.
Because he was like some freedom fighter. But it's the second season, I won't watch it because I tried. It was kind of corny in the beginning. But the first season was like legit. But I think about like that whole idea of like, you know, people talk about like the immortality, right? And it's just like, sometimes these movies, they get like real crazy with the science fiction. But that part of me is like wants to see that future, and then a part of me doesn't. Because I see like how like the negative side of it is.
Yeah.
But then like I also see like I don't know if there's a positive side, but like I want to see that. In my mind, I'm like 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah. I mean, there's a positive side to technology. Why do we have any sort of technological advance? It's to make our lives a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Something as simple as your wallet, that's That's a form of technology.
Yeah.
Before that, you carried a bunch of random crap in your pockets. This is a technological advance to organize that stuff and make it fit comfortably in your pocket for you to have all these cards and pictures or whatever. It's supposed to make our lives easier, but at one point or another, it's going to get to the point where, okay, everything is being done for us. So what's the purpose of us?
Yeah. So like,
what are we here for?
So I've never seen it, but I know the premise of like that movie WALL-E. Like all the people are like fat.
Yeah, I've never watched.
So like they're so like built on tech, like they're so like pro technology that they're fat and like on chairs.
They're Americans.
Yeah.
They're Americans.
Yeah. But like I think about all that stuff where I'm like, okay, it'd be interesting to see how far things go. Like, okay, let's say I'm not promised tomorrow, but say I live to my old age, and we're now old age for somebody like me, probably pre-diabetic. 60, right? Okay.
You got 30 more years.
30 more years.
Bro.
I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some dope stuff that comes out in the next 30 years.
Think about what we've seen from 2003 to we're going on 2023.
Yeah. But
think about the technological advance from that point to now.
Yeah.
In 2003, the iPhone didn't exist.
So I had this conversation with somebody. I had the first Sidekick.
There you go.
Block.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So it's crazy to see how far technology has came in that short of a period.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the new generation don't see, or they can't they don't understand references that we make that are from our time.
Yeah.
Our high school years. You know, which is crazy, but it's also like.
It just goes with the time.
Yeah.
Like our parents' references wouldn't make any sense to us because we didn't grow up in that time. We grew up in a different world than our parents. Our kids grow up in a different world than us. Kids that are in their teens now, what they're used to is something that for us became like a technological advance. Like they're born into having iPhones or Androids or laptops, whatever the case may be. That's normal to them. Yeah. For us, we still had rotary phones.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we still we
had the first ever cell phones. Like we seen that transition. They, like my nephews, they were born into knowing the iPhone exists. It just exists. So it's just the way it is.
So it's crazy, right? So when did you get your first phone? What year?
14, 15 years old. I want to say that was 2000 and...
Not 2000.
2000 and... I want to say it was 2000 maybe. Actually, now that I think about it.
Your first phone. Okay. So then
in 99, we were in what? 9th grade?
Yeah.
I had my
middle school, 9th grade, because,
I had my first phone in the 9th grade. I was 14 then, I'm sorry. 14 years old. So 99, 2000.
2000, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first, mobile phone.
The first one I had was that Nokia.
Yeah. So
one that everybody played Snake on.
Yeah, so this is what I'm getting at. The first actual cell phone was in the 80s.
80s, yeah.
That brick.
Brick, yeah. And they had the car one, too.
Yeah, so...
still the same thing.
But it's crazy how far, even that, the technology, if we look at it now, it's like, going back to the wallet, people used to carry pictures.
Yeah.
Now, you don't. You just show...
You have a giant photo album on your phone.
Yeah. Or, people use
Think about how far we've come in terms of flight. How long have we been flying? And look at what we have in the sky now. We have F-22s, F-35s in the air.
Yeah.
We have stealth bombers, and back then we had people putting on wings on their arms, trying to flap off of a hill. Think about how far we've come along. I see us advancing, but I don't see a sentient computer just thinking on its... We have to program it.
So here's my thing. I think...
Until it happens, I can't visualize it, but I'm not in that field.
I think eventually, and this I'm talking 200 years from now, I think that's where we'll build these machines, these robots, right? So say Tesla decides to buy Boston Dynamic.
You don't think the world will be wiped out by then?
Probably, but I'm just saying if it's
200 years,
yeah,
we're for sure gonna get hit by a comet or a meteor or some shit.
But what I'm saying is imagine that's just hypothetically speaking, 200 years from now, there's well, even like look how civilization has changed, but like
we call it civilization. Are we civilized?
No.
Bombing each other, killing each other? That's not civilization, bro.
I think what they should do is, well, we can't do it now. I can't say this now because we got Sleepy Joe. He can't. He couldn't. Why can't they just put on boxing gloves and shoot the fair one? Anyways, but my thing is, all right. Say for example, right, like 200 years from now. So we already built like these robots. Mm-hmm. Elon Musk decides, I'm gonna buy out Boston Dynamic. I'm gonna put these robots, these machines.
Dogs with Gatling guns.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, which was crazy because that movie Spectral, in the end, they had the pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
But do you think like by then it will learn so much? Like with the advancement of technology, it'll learn that much that it'll just be like, we're the superior.
I think everything's in the realm of possibility.
Yeah. Because
I don't have the foresight to see it happening. Doesn't mean it won't happen, but I think it's possible.
I think the extent of it is like they won't go far if they still have to be charged.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we don't think about that. Like
if they tap in, if they're smart enough to figure out how to tap into solar power, or turn us into batteries like in the Matrix.
But like that's not.
You never know, dude.
Yeah, but like I think about that. Like if like the movie Chappie, right? Like he builds this machine, and he towards the end like he swaps the body. Like the dude that creates him ends up dying, and he becomes like. And then they put the girl's conscience into the other machine or whatever, but like you don't see them getting plugged in. But I think in the like Johnny Five, I don't remember his like battery situation, but like I think about that stuff. Like that's as far as they'll go is how long their battery will last.
That's.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna be like, oh, let's use a solar like.
That seems like a limit, but what if by that point they've been able to like, I don't know. Isolate nuclear power into something small enough to go into like the chest of a robot, and that powers it for God knows how many years.
So you're saying we're getting an Iron Man?
It's within the realm of possibility, bro.
Yeah,
it's within the realm of possibility.
So how what do you think? You think Musk dies a hero or a villain if this was a movie?
I feel like those are just words, man. Some people already see him as a villain. Some people already see him as like this hero that's trying to bring us to Mars. Like he just is what he is. Yeah. He's not a good person. He's not a bad person. He's just a person trying to figure it out, just like the rest of us.
But
you're asking what the majority of people will see him as.
So like
it's because of technological advances, how easy he makes things for lazy people. Yeah. He might be seen as a hero.
But I look at it like this: like we look at like the greats, right? Like the great minds of the past, right? So you have like Tesla, or you had Edison. Mm-hmm. Edison was a scumbag.
He was a con man.
Yeah, and people don't realize that. And then Tesla,
he was a good businessman. Yeah, he was a con man.
But then like Tesla, he was like he dies by himself, like crazy in an apartment, like. But he also gave us AC, like. Or is it no? The direct. Yeah, he gave us. He gave us. Say it wasn't direct. It's because of Tesla we don't have exploding light bulbs, bro. I'm only speaking what I know, bro. Snapple fact.
Snapple facts. Do you think about like these crazy scenarios where AI like comes to fruition and kills us all? Or do you see it as like, oh, this is going to help usher in a new age for people?
No, see, this is how I personally see it. I'm going to tell you, it's going to go like this.
We're just speculating anyway.
All right, so it's gonna first start off like iRobot, right? You're going to have these machines that become obsolete, and these new machines take over.
You mean like phones every couple of years?
Yeah, right? And then it'll
have some isolated robots and ISO containers hiding out under the George Washington Bridge.
So then, excuse me. Then I think what's gonna happen is it's not gonna play out like an iRobot where the humans succeed. I think we end up getting majority of the population gets wiped out that way. Like you already heard about that. It's old technology, but it was like robots that were they like feed on pretty much like compost.
I don't think I've heard of it.
I can't remember the name, but it was like they built these like machines that basically live off of like.
Wouldn't that be convenient?
Just like stuff that's decomposing.
Yeah.
And they were
you
just
mean mushrooms? Are you talking about mushrooms, bro?
But what I'm talking about more is
turning death to life, like magic, bro.
But these machines were they tested them. They basically go out and like eat, like they're rotting away, like stuff that's rotting like animals or whatever. So I think at a certain point, like we'll become so dependent on these machines that we weaken ourselves as like. Because everything has become easier. We're already just
starting to sound a whole lot like the Unabomber, bro. Talking about how technology's bad for us.
I didn't say that technology was bad for us. I said I want to see it, but I'm saying that this is how it's going to play out. That's how I see it's going to play out. We're going to eventually be so dependent on it, and then they're going to take control. And then once they have control, I think that's when it like really hits the fan, and we just become like an obsolete thing.
I don't care to see that, man. I feel like we have.
I don't want to see that, but I do want to see the advancement of technology because I think it's amazing how how stuff has become like.
But the more technologically advanced we become, the lazier our race becomes. Like
that's what I'm saying. We're gonna get dependent on it to a point that it's.
We already are. How many people do you see walking around having a conversation with each other and not staring down at their phone when they're hanging out with their friends?
Yeah.
Like that's. Just that.
The idiot box just got smaller. That's what it is. At the end of the day, that's all. Like, I can stream all my stuff on my phone, off of my phone.
Yeah.
The
you
people
get
who are
programmed on your phone too, just like you could with your TV programming.
So that's like the people watching this right now. They don't even know they're being programmed.
You're gonna put in a couple subliminal hints.
I'm gonna put like the 52K. Remember, like back in the day, it was like when you start up the computer, it was like winding it up.
Was it Netgear?
Net Zero.
Net Zero. There you go. No, that's the.
But that's the 52K.
The dial-up.
Yeah, dial-up.
Like kids now have no idea what the hell dial-up was.
Oh, they don't know what the pound sign is either. It's a hashtag.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, no, to me, it's. I don't know. I do want to see like. I think it's dope. Like
I feel like we lost more important technology than what we think we're creating. Like, yeah, it's cool. We're on the verge of developing AI, but we still can't figure out how they build pyramids, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we're sitting here, oh yeah, we're making computers that could do this, that, and the third. You can't figure out how they made this building? Like, we lost that technology. How about you figure out that before you figure out how to upload your consciousness into a computer? How about you figure out how to build stuff with what we have on Earth before you start thinking about, how am I going to get my brain in this computer? Is that going to make you any smarter?
What if that, understanding that and creating AI leads us to understanding how that was built?
It's 100% possible.
Like an AI downloads all of Wikipedia and it goes, this is what I know.
Oh, you guys are missing these pieces. You didn't put the puzzle pieces together the right way. Yeah, I could 100% see that. That's fathomable. Like, that makes sense. But still.
It was Enoch.
This guy.
I was watching something that
Who was Enoch?
He wasn't human.
What are you talking about? He wasn't human.
He wasn't human, bro.
He was supposed to be the great-grandfather of Noah. Yeah. That's who Enoch was.
So I was watching something on it, but then I also watched something where this guy was breaking down. He was like,
"You be grabbing headlines."
No,
those guys.
No, this guy
I got a little piece of the story. Let me talk about.
Yo, Snapple Facts, bro.
Bro, look into it before you say.
Nah, bro. I just want to get by.
Just to get by.
I learned that the other day. I was like, oh, I sound like an idiot in this conversation. I was like dropping these gems, which I thought were gems. And this guy obviously knew everything about Vikings. And I was like, oh my God, you sound like an idiot. Shut up, George.
You got yourself into a sentence you couldn't figure your way out of.
Yeah, I could. I was like, yo. So I was like, yeah. But, and then he goes, I'm not saying that's exactly, but you may be right, but I'm pretty sure that this is like, he broke it down and I was like, oh, so now when I see my work.
I'm a novice. I'm still a white belt.
Yeah, so I go to work and I see him now and I'm like, I feel like such an idiot, bro. Like, and it's not because like, it's just, I got my information wrong and I gotta like, I had to do my due diligence and like really read up on stuff. But he broke it down to the point where I was like, oh, I know nothing of what I'm talking about. Like
none of us know we don't know anything, bro. We know what we have very limited capacity.
But see, so the thing is like you like an evolving mind, you have to like be eager to know that if your information is wrong, you have to know like for me to understand this, I gotta research it or like like some people just okay whatever and like and it was 4 of us, right?
I have no idea what you're saying.
Meaning like when you're in a situation like that, you can be like, I can choose to look further into this information. Yeah. So I don't sound like an idiot again.
So you take that as a learning experience.
Yeah. So you go ahead and you like you do a dive into it and just like learn more. But you
have to have that passion for learning. Yeah.
But like I just it was funny because me and him were talking. There's 2 other people. And I could see like one was like trying to get out of the conversation by like walking away, and the other one was looking at his phone. And I was there like, oh, the spotlight's on me right now, and you sound like a freaking moron. Like, but wasn't like rude. Like that's another thing too. He wasn't rude about it. He was like, he goes, you should really research it. And he gave me like a timeline. So now when I see him, I'm like, I'm gonna talk to him like when I understand this conversation.
So
like,
from my understanding, you struck a chord with somebody that you thought. Not that you knew a lot about the subject, but you started talking to somebody who was like a purple belt in the subject.
Yeah, like he knew his stuff.
And you came in with your white belt with your 1 stripe, like, yeah, I know some of these moves.
He was like,
and this dude choked you out.
Yeah, because
with his knowledge base.
And we asked him like,
let's go back to the drawing board.
So he asked us something about like if he studied like history, like people like major or something. Yeah. He goes, no, I'm just
he's interested.
Yeah, he goes, no, I'm just interested in history, and he goes, especially like Vikings. And I was like, oh, okay.
I wonder why. Why specifically Vikings?
No, but I think he's just into like history, but like I think he was like he knew like a profound amount about
that one subject.
And then he goes, study this era, and I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, I have to do my research now. So when I do bring this up to him again, and it's not like a pride thing, it's just more like now I'm eager, like you sparked something in me that like I want to make sure I get the facts right.
So is it an ego thing, you don't want to feel like a dummy, or is it you're actually interested in the subject now? So now you want to do the research I've
always been like interested
a long form conversation with them.
Yeah, because I want to be able to have like a conversation where at least I'm grasping the information correctly. Like, oh yeah, that's true. Like, but like he knows a lot of stuff that's like he's big into like politics. Some people who are like real big into politics, they read like because he's one of the we were breaking down this conversation before. Yeah, he's very like in between. He's not one sided. Yeah. So he goes, but he was breaking down a lot of stuff, and I was just like, oh, like I'm sitting across an intellectual right now. Like I like this. Like this conversation is more meaningful than the conversation I would have with somebody else. Yeah. So I want to be able to the next time I have a conversation with him, I'm not like completely oblivious to what he's talking about. Yeah. So I want to get a better understanding of it. And then like, good. But it's that I'm saying like of evolving mind. Like you want to be able to grow and find this information. Like history is written by the victors. Yeah. So like you got, but that's what he was like when he was saying like he goes, no, I research like both ends of a lot of things. Like I just don't stick to one.
Yeah, there's never just like they say there's two sides of the story. There's just one story, how it happened, and people's different views of how it happened. Yeah. There's really just this is the way it happened. This is how one person saw it. This is how the other person saw it. If you choose to pick a side, then that's on you. Yeah. But if you remain neutral, then you get more out of a story or a situation or a decision that might have to be made. Like, it's always a safer bet, a smarter bet to stay in the center.
Yeah.
Like, don't force a person to pick.
No, but I like having conversations like that with people that are just, like you can learn something from, they're not just like spewing out like hood facts. You know what I'm saying? Like just like nonsense.
Little fairy tales.
Yeah, like it's very like I don't know, like it's intriguing when you see somebody who knows like what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like even that sometimes I try to explain coffee to some people, like just like the process.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you know a lot, and I'm like, I really don't. Like I know like the basics. Like I know a lot of people that they could tell me stuff, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, and to me, it's just like it's all like wanting to like learn to like.
But to them, I would assume that their knowledge base is kind of like you having this conversation with this guy about Vikings. He knows a little bit more than you. So when you talk to him, you look at him like, damn, this guy's a treasure trove of Viking information, just like somebody would see you as the same thing for coffee.
Yeah.
But you can have a conversation with somebody that's been dealing with and is passionate about coffee for longer than you've been alive, and you're going to look at them like, oh, I don't know shit.
Yeah, no.
I don't know any of that.
There's like, yesterday I shot like a quick little video on Instagram using the porter filter, that thing where I put the coffee, where I was just showing how I make the espresso. And I was breaking down why I use a bottomless porter filter instead of the one that it comes with. Mm-hmm. But like I rewatched it and I was like, you sound like reckless, like you don't know what you're talking about. But like I understood what I was saying, like I understood how I was breaking it down. But like I was like, this is gonna confuse somebody. But I was like, I'm just gonna post it anyways. But it was funny because I was in my head, I'm like trying to explain something to some people. Like I like maybe I was getting too like into like what I was filming.
Yeah.
And I had to shoot it like 3 times because I kept like it was more of like stumbling on camera, and I was like, but like somebody like they hit me up and they're like, oh, why do you use that? And I'm like, oh, because it basically you figure out what's wrong, not wrong with the machine, but you're doing something wrong, and the machine's not like operating the way it should. Like you're not getting the right like bean to water ratio.
Yeah.
So. But there's a lot of things that I'm kind of just like.
That's funny. It's always a good idea when you're trying to explain something to somebody to try to explain it to them like if they were a 5-year-old. Well, if a 5-year-old can understand what you're saying, the majority of people will be able to understand what you're saying. It's not for nothing. You don't know who you're talking to. You don't know if a person's literate or not. Like, you don't know if they understand some of the words that you're using. So if you try, not necessarily to dumb it down, but to speak to somebody at a level where a child might be able to understand it, then it's a safe bet that an adult might be able to track what you're saying.
Because that's kind of what I tell like a lot of these new drivers before they will take their test. Mm-hmm. Kind of like, not the hardest part, but like a lot of people get like their nerves kick in when they got to explain like air buildup and... Mm-hmm. And I just tell them like, yo, you know how you get rid of that? Pretend like they don't know anything, and you're teaching them for the first time. Yeah. And they're like, that's how. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they just grab the information.
You're talking to a little kid.
Yeah. So it's like, we're gonna start doing now. It's like, here you go. You see now. No.
Not insulting somebody's intelligence. That's different, bro.
No. I know. But yeah, no. I agree with that though. Being able to like express stuff like that. The brain fart.
That's funny. It happens, bro. Sometimes your brain just...
I'm running on 52K, bro.
Sometimes your brain just shuts off on you mid-sentence. You got a manual reboot.
You ever like talk to somebody and you're going like you're being like long-winded, like you're explaining something more.
You're talking to me. Who do you know that's more long-winded than me?
What I'm saying is like where you're talking to somebody and then like you realize that the conversation ended like a couple minutes ago and you're like they're starting to look at you kind of like weird.
No, I don't think so.
I've had like where I was explaining something to somebody.
People are hanging up on you because you don't want to get off the phone.
I did to you purposely. I can't. I'm not allowed to call you after 9 o'clock.
or before 9 o'clock. If it's close enough to 9, I'm not gonna pick up.
I'll test it out. I'll be like, today 8:20. I'm gonna call him.
I don't like being. I like seeing a person's face.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not. If I'm doing something at work, I can't just like.
You can't FaceTime anywhere. You don't have FaceTime.
No, but I can't like text either. If I'm like getting ready to drive.
You drive a truck, bro. I don't imagine you should be texting while driving. That doesn't seem responsible.
No, it's not.
Unless you use your speak and spell, you still got one of those.
I got a Teddy Ruxpin. Was it Ruxpin?
Teddy Ruxpin. That's funny.
You seen that the video? They put like the Wu-Tang tape inside of it. Excuse me. They put this I gotta turn on the AC.
You hot, bro?
Fucking dying. I'm fat, bro.
I'm sitting here freezing. You're gonna turn on the AC?
I was gonna tell you something, but I forgot.
It must have been a lie.
It's always all of it is a lie.
Uploading your consciousness. That's an interesting thing. Into a computer. Isn't that what we essentially already are? Our brain's kind of like a computer. Our consciousness is a program in that computer. Or our brain's like a radio receiver.
Yeah.
We're receiving these radio signals that becomes our consciousness. Who knows, man?
So like,
who knows what our consciousness really is? We don't even know what that is, and we're supposed to upload that into a computer. We have no idea what our consciousness is.
Yeah, well, that's what I think about. Like, how would you go?
Like, how are you going to upload something you still don't understand? Like, that seems so far fetched to me.
I still think that we're not too far off, though.
Yo, if we can't actually define our consciousness, how the hell are we supposed to upload something we don't even understand into a computer system? Please explain that to me.
I'm pretty sure
maybe it's just me and I don't understand.
There's a scientist right now that one of my subscribers that he's like,
it's just simple. If you know, let us know in the comments below.
I think at the end of the day, I don't know how you would go about that though. Like, how you like?
It's not gonna happen. I just don't see it happening.
Well, that's like they had that tech that like where they took. I'm just gonna reference him, but like they took like Rogan. They took a whole bunch of videos of Rogan, and then he did like a whole speech on chimpanzees, and he goes, "I've never. That's AI." And it was like a conversation, which stuff like that always brings me to Equilibrium, the movie.
Programming. It was programmed to take his voice, sound bites, his facial gestures. They made a video of him, right?
No, well, it was just audio, but like...
There you go. It just mimicked his voice.
But it makes me think about...
Limited by its programming.
Yeah.
The human who made that program, or humans who made that program, that's whatever you're referencing... It's only as good as the people and the program which those people put into that specific system.
So now that we're talking about this, back in October, a scientist was projected and sent to a space station. It's been floating around in space through a hologram, and the hologram can recognize. Like he was able to see 360 degrees like view, and they can see him, and he can. So like they built this hologram to not only just be like stationary. He was able to walk around inside the space station and talk amongst his peers, like who are other scientists.
How was it able to walk around?
Probably in a room that's designed for it. Like when you go, I've been into a VR like game thing where they have like the other machinery, and then you're inside this
Sucking
game.
your soul out through your eyes, bro.
I tell you, I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out, bro. So like, I think that's crazy because they're building up that technology to a point that it'll eventually be able to sense, like feel stuff. I think
like you have a set of goggles on or something, and this hologram that's projected of you is touching something, and you feel it.
No, from my understanding, he'll Snapple Facts.
Snapple Facts. Here we go.
He won't be able to pick it up, but like they'll be able to point or like touch certain things.
Yeah.
I guess maybe like sensor wise.
Yeah.
But like just right now,
But is he wearing like this suit that's sending that input to him?
Maybe.
Or is he wearing some type of like brain net that sends an electrical signal in his head to make him believe that he's actually feeling whatever it is he's feeling through his hologram?
Maybe, because they already built like a glove that it feels like it fills up like with air to build up like pressure. Yeah. So if you like touch something, your hand feels it. So
what's really gonna boggle your mind is when we're touching something. Are we really touching it? Are we actually touching anything?
My mind perceives it, yeah. But what I'm saying, you're not a hologram though.
I'm not a hologram.
Or maybe you are. Or maybe
how do you know I'm not a hologram?
Or maybe I'm 60 years old on my deathbed in some place
What's a hologram?
Middle Earth.
What's a hologram?
It's a gram that's hollow. But look, I just think that's, to me, it was crazy. Like that idea that
he was. You got yourself in a sentence.
Yeah, I got myself. I'm having relapse of the Vikings.
Yeah.
Snapple Facts. But to me, I think that it's dope. But I also think it's crazy how like that you can pretty much be somewhere and not be there. That idea, like, go on, let me hear this.
You could be anywhere. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself somewhere you're not.
Yeah, but those other people can't see you when you close your eyes and imagining yourself.
How do you know?
So I close my eyes right now, and I think I'm on. If I paint the picture to you, I'm in Puerto Rico.
Who's there?
My uncles.
Okay.
They can't see me.
How do you know? In your imagination, are they seeing you? No. When you're in your eyes are closed, you're imagining you're in Puerto Rico, your 75 uncles are there with you. Are they seeing you in this imagination? And what you're imagining, do they see you?
Okay, now I'm gonna make because you just
yes
inception,
or no?
Because you did the elephant thing.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you were like don't think about elephants, and I'm thinking about elephants.
I'm just asking you, do they see you in your imagination? Are they seeing you?
If
are
I
you
imagine,
interacting with them?
If I interact, yeah, but they're not physically seeing me then.
It's in your mind. It's your imagination. They're seeing you in your imagination. That's your perception, right?
Yeah.
Your perception's your reality, so they do see you, don't they? In your imagination.
Hey,
are they seeing you right now? Really in Puerto Rico?
No.
No, but you don't have holographic technology
I don't have
that's projecting you in Puerto
I don't have
Rico,
that.
bro.
I don't have that yet.
Think about it.
I know. I understand now.
You understand? What are you understanding? What are you understanding? Tell me.
I think. See what happens. I just wanted to tell you about. You wanted to take it somewhere else.
I didn't. I'm asking you a question. I'm trying to understand your statement, and I'm trying.
I thought it was cool that they built this machine that can project. You can project someone to be at a location, and the people at that location can physically see you.
They're not seeing you. They're seeing
a projection of you. Yes, I understand that, but what I'm saying is they're seeing that projection, and you're. It's very Star Wars like in that sense, like where R2-D2 projected Leia and all that nonsense.
You're basically FaceTiming somebody through a hologram.
Yeah, we've seen it with
on the space station.
Yeah, we've seen it with the whole Tupac thing, right? The concert.
Yeah, and how old is that?
That's old, yeah. But like, I think what I was getting is that they were like, you're gonna be able to interact with that, not that world, but like. You're home and I'm here, and I say, "Yo, I'll be over there." But it's a projection. I'll be able to interact with you in a certain way.
Yeah.
That didn't like fall under the laws of physics before.
Yeah.
But like that's also like I was saying, like the gloves and stuff like that. They have like where like if it inflates, like, depending on the pressure or whatever.
But realistically speaking, though, if let's say we're hanging out, I'm in my home, you're in yours. I'm like, "Yo, come over." You're like, "I'm gonna project myself over there." You project yourself, you're able to interact.
Yeah.
Are you really?
There's no difference. That's no difference than FaceTiming somebody.
Are you really interacting with me, or is your hologram interacting with me? Are you physically there?
Okay, no, you're not.
Are you able to shake my hand? No, but are you wearing one of those gloves that if you shake my hand there, you'll get the sensation here that you're shaking my hand? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But what is that? What is that proving? Like, are you there with me?
Yeah.
No. Your projection is there. You're getting this sensory input in your glove. We're really shaking hands, but you're really not there.
So we're basically building a dream world.
Let's not go there, bro. Let's not go there. How do you know you're not in a dream world? How do you know you're awake now when you go to sleep later on?
I'm in my parallel universe. Marvel has taught me that there are more than one universe.
It's kind of hard to believe that there's not.
No, I know that. That for a fact, I think you got to be real ignorant to even think that there's nothing else other than this place, this little blue marble.
Your brain in this skin suit, walking through life, experiencing things through your senses. Your senses are what? Just input from your hands, your mouth, your nose, your eyes to your brain. Electrical signals that tell you, oh, you're actually touching this, you're tasting this, you're seeing this, you're feeling that. Like,
yeah.
It's just all in here. It's all in here.
Yeah.
What's the difference between being awake and being in the real world and being asleep in your dreams? What's the difference? In reality, what's the difference between the two? They're both still just electrical signals.
Yeah.
Like, processed through your brain.
Yeah.
What makes a dream any less real than reality?
The stuff you could do in dreams.
What can you do in dreams that you can't do in the real world?
I can't jump out this window.
You can. You might eat shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You might hurt yourself.
I can't Neo and Morpheus myself out this window.
You can't.
Yet. Until we're at Ready Player One.
Oh my God.
You're gonna come one day, there's gonna be the place is gonna be all those cables that were in boxes underneath my bed. They're gonna see me hooked up to a machine.
You're funny, bro.
Because here you are.
You're fascinated with the idea of AI.
I am.
I don't know, like, do you see how hard it is to bridge that gap between us free thinking and a computer system finally just, I can think on my own? That computer system was made by a human.
Yeah.
Humans had to program.
No, I understand that, and I understand there's a set of rules.
It has to have this weird spark eventually to just, oh no, I'm gonna do this shit on my own now.
Yeah, but like the great movie Ex Machina taught us, is that after those groovy dance moves that the guy. No, I just think like I've always been fascinated with stuff that deals with technology. I feel
like the more technologically advanced we become, the further we get away from being humans, from understanding our human experience.
Oh, so there's a saying by like this old Mayan, like right around the whole 2012 thing when the world was supposed to end, or maybe it did, and it was a checkpoint in real life, or like video games.
A new beginning, or a new chapter,
or
the end of an era,
or a birth of new consciousness, whatever. But there was I was reading an article where and it wasn't the headline either, it was an actual article that I read. And the Mayan, Mayan ancestor, whatever, he was saying like, man lost his soul the moment they built the sundial. Because we depended on something else outside of ourselves to tell us what we know.
Where do we get time from?
It's a man-made,
yeah.
But like when we built he was basically saying like when we depended on something other than ourselves to know, like when we added that to ourselves, like
it's useful, but it's still just a construct.
Yeah.
Like it's useful as a unit of measure, time is, but time is relative. Like time makes sense, and sometimes it doesn't make sense. If you're hanging out if you got arrested and you're driving from your home here to the police department. That car ride there is gonna feel like an eternity, right?
Yeah. Because we
if you're sitting in a room with a hot chick that you've always wanted to like hang out with, you spend an hour with her, it's gonna feel like a blink of an eye, isn't it? It's relative. It's not the same.
Yeah, no.
It's good to use as a unit of measure, but other than that, I mean, it does limit us. Time does limit us.
Yeah. So you think
And we got time from the Sumerians. That's where we get our calendar from.
Yeah.
That's where we get our time from.
Yeah.
It's from the Sumerians.
You know, so what do you think about them getting rid of daylight savings time? I'm asking you, like, what do you think about that? Like,
I think all of it's silly, man. Like, I get the point of it. I understand the point of it, but we attach these weird, like, oh, we get more time to be productive, more daylight. Like, do we?
yeah.
You're trading something off either way.
Yeah. Well, my time is always out of whack because I work nights, and then like everything just to me is like at this point it's like the sun's down. I'm going to sleep on the weekends. I go to sleep when the sun's down, and then throughout the week I'm up driving.
You're an organism that depends on sunlight, just like most living organisms on Earth. Most, not all. We don't need a clock to tell us the sun's up, the sun's down. Let's change the clock so we get more of the sun in this. It's not changing the amount of time that the sun is in the sky.
That had to do more like farmers.
Yeah.
Because they needed, like, I don't know, something about which is crazy to me.
Can you adjust your day either way?
Yeah.
Like if you realize if you wake up today and the sun came up at 6:15, you wake up tomorrow, the sun came up at 6:25. You can realize that, hey, wait a minute, there's something happening with the time in which the sun shows up over the horizon. Yeah. You can adjust your behavior because of that. You don't have to change time for it. Time's not really changing. Your measurement of it, like when you decide, oh, today it's actually 1 o'clock at 1 o'clock. Tomorrow 1 o'clock's gonna be 2 o'clock, really. Like, it's stupid. But whatever. To each his own.
You know, I heard, I don't know how true this is, so I'm just a Snapple facting this. Because how they map the stars, how they were able to map it, like they would look at like water, they would make like these things of water, apparently. And then off the reflection off of that, they would like map out the stars.
That's an interesting fact. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is. This episode is now called Snapple Facts. I don't know if that's true, but I read it somewhere. Like that's how they used to map out the stars. So, but I like
it's kind of like looking at a bowl of water, or you're talking about looking at like a big body of water?
They would make like a small thing of like water. And then that's how they would map it. I mean, I don't know.
A small circle of water?
I don't know if it would be a circle. It's probably like, because if you really think about it, you're looking down, right? If you're looking at something, you're looking at it this way. So
you're looking at a mirror image of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how you're not gonna hold a piece of paper out.
You could. You could look up and just draw a diagram that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how accurate it's gonna be. It seems feasible to put, here's this little bowl of water, or a big bowl of water. It's looking at the direct reflection of the stars. If you know the direction those things are moving and you plot those points based on that little bowl of water, I can see that working.
Yeah, I don't know. But
especially if you wait over time to see where the stars move in relation to that bowl of water or the whatever bin of water that you have. I could see that working.
Yeah. You know, I also found fascinating. It's something you taught me. Which,
I didn't teach you anything.
yeah. Like the counting down of the sun, like sundown. Like
oh, and you put your hands up in this?
Yeah.
That's a neat little trick, man.
Yeah. What is it, like 15 minutes
15 minutes, for every finger of yours that you have. But this from when you see your hand up against the horizon, wherever the sun hits, you count those fingers, and it's 15 minutes. How many degrees does the sky change in an hour? It's 15 degrees, is it not? Fact check me, Jamie. I think it's 15 degrees.
What was that? How many degrees it moves?
Yeah. And now for a brief intermission. You gotta put elevator music.
It says the actual distance the sun travels along this path is about 8.5 degrees. So 6 degrees vertically and about 6 degrees horizontal.
So how many?
Snapple Facts.
Where'd you get that from?
Google.
There you go.
No, sorry, I didn't want to use DuckDuckGo. I might have
You
found
can
the
use
truth.
whatever you want, bro.
I might have found out the truth, bro.
You can use whatever you want, bro. I'm pretty sure everything that moves in the sky moves at a rate of 15 degrees per hour. Pretty sure. But what do I know?
Does Snapple still do that?
What? The facts?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't had
Snapple
Snapple in years, bro. I haven't had Snapple since I can't remember when. You remember when they used to do those contests with Snapple where you get a certain amount of like bottle caps that have we're supposed to have certain like numbers or some crap on them, but if you would collect it was kind of like Monopoly, but with like McDonald's Monopoly, but with Snapple.
Oh, do you
know?
know?
Stuff like that.
Do you know about that Monopoly?
The scam?
Yeah.
They made a show about that.
Yeah, documentary or a docu-series. We've been watching something new. Have you watched any more?
No.
The Outer Ranch?
I don't know the name of it.
I think
you sent me one that I want to watch. Oat and something. It looks really interesting. Something Oats.
Oh, Old Studio.
Yeah, is that on Netflix?
Yeah, so it's basically like
that's interesting.
Videos of like they're short films of like post-apocalyptic worlds. It's the guy who created District 9 and Elysium.
Yeah.
But after the second one, we got like real like.
You watched it already? The whole thing?
I watched like 3 or 4. Cause it's not that many. It's not that many.
How many episodes are there?
I think there's like 8. But like I watched one and it was like they were like the premise was like they had like a microwave and they're like, oh, it's all about like being like a vegetarian or vegan. And it was like you just put your food in here and they'll create the best meal for you or whatever. And when he opens it up, it was like slabs of meat, like raw meat.
Yeah.
And it was playing like an infomercial.
Yeah.
But the whole like episode played like that, and I was just like, what the hell am I watching? And I had to go to work, and I haven't like picked up since. So I don't know what the other ones are. But there's a show that you would like called it's like
how do you know what I would like?
Because you're into this stuff. I forgot the name of it. It's
how do you know what I'm into?
Because I know you, bro. If it's not Bruce Lee with a Honda Civic,
a vampire Bruce Lee with a Civic, bro.
There's a series called Love, Death, and Robots, and they're on their 3rd season. And it's legit. It's
Love,
legit.
Death, and Robots.
Yeah, it's these animators, different animators that made like different like. Watch it, bro. It's very Animatrix like.
Love, Death, and Robots. I don't see how that would be something that I would like to watch, but I'll give it a shot, bro.
Don't judge it by.
Don't judge a book by a cover.
Yeah. Don't judge it by its screen detail. We gotta move with the times, bro.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
It's funny how like some people thought like the Kindle would be like the end of books.
Dude, I had what was it called? The Nook. I still have the Nook. I never use that.
It's something about having a book in your hand, right?
You know what? My book's not gonna run out of battery. For starters, like that's stupid to me.
That's what I'm saying about the robots. They can only go so far with those.
Staring at a screen, like nah, I'm good. I'd rather read a book. They smell funny too. I like the way books smell.
Have you ever?
I like the way libraries smell.
Have you been to the Last Bookstore? There's a bookstore in LA that's in the art district, and that place is legit.
Yeah,
like, it's obviously not the Last Bookstore, but that's like the name of it. And I think it's
just a gimmick.
No, I think it was like one of the like last like privately owned like bookstores. It wasn't like a franchise in LA for whatever. But inside they have like a tunnel with like books. They have I guess the building used to be like a bank. So it has like a vault and you can go in. It's a dope place, but it smells like that, or like a library.
It's old and musty.
It's old. It's all like used books.
That's like King Daughter's library.
Yeah.
That place smells funny, but I liked being there when I was a kid.
That's actually a nice place. That library is actually a really nice place.
It's a really historical building.
Yeah. Those all those buildings on First have like that historical like. Do you know about the ones that are on the top of on top of 9W? Do you know the history about that?
You're talking about the ones across the street from where your aunt lives?
So remember how I used to live on 60 New Main?
Yeah.
Then they go up. There's the church. There's the intersection. There's the railroad. Excuse me, the track.
You're talking about like the ones that inspired paintings and crap like that?
Yes. So do you know that anything above the railroad track, that's like where all like the rich people lived, and anything below was like poverty stricken.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That was like basically like you workers just go.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that in a nice term. But
Yeah.
Like, Lilo was breaking it down to me one day, and he was like, that whole history of like anything above 9W was like rich people.
Yeah.
But we were considered rich at that time.
What made them rich? The fact that they had money, bro.
Damn, bro.
I'm trying to give you a hard time.
We're over here. I'm gonna call you. Was it existential crisis? Is that what it is when somebody's like?
Oh my god. No, I'm serious. What made them rich? They were rich because they had like a lot of
monetary
money?
value. That's all.
Oh.
That's all.
They were money rich.
Yeah. They weren't.
But the workers that lived in the valley, that had family that cared about them, and fun times, those guys were rich too, right? Just in a different way.
Yeah. You didn't have to get all serious.
I didn't get serious.
I had to get all serious.
Just wondering what made them rich. Because those houses look pretty crappy
now
compared to today's standards. Yeah. So I was rich.
But that's back then. Like you look, say when you see places now that I drive by and they say like, I won't ever go to a place that says Plantation.
Why?
The term just is associated with.
It's just a word.
Bad. Yeah, it is a word. But you're gonna go somewhere and have like I never understood that when people go like, oh yeah, this is like, I'm gonna have this venue at this plantation. I mean, I don't understand.
Are there slaves working in said plantation today, right now? Are you holding a grudge against a building?
Yeah.
Against a piece of land? Against a piece of land?
No. Well, yeah, but
like the land didn't make those situations. The people did.
That's true.
It's just a building.
That's true. Unless you're on a burial site, like when they built the mall around the burial site.
That's creepy, man. Getting off the bus and seeing that little nook and cranny when you get off the 91 Nag and you see those tombs or whatever, the tombstones.
Yeah, that's
creepy.
Wild. It is wild.
Like, oh, I'm gonna go shop, but there's dead people right here. I mean, there's dead people all over the planet.
Yeah.
You don't really know where you're sitting right now. Somebody died once.
I'm pretty sure. I do think it's crazy, which I want to see in person, but I heard it's the catacombs.
That'd be cool to see.
I want to see that.
That'd be real cool to see.
And not on some like disrespect. It's just I think that's very unique how they put all that together.
Yeah.
Because it's protected.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to see that.
It was like that. The whole movie was it As Above.
As Above, So Below. Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting movie.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I stole it from you.
Yeah.
Along with Interstellar. Let me count the movies that I stole from you. I don't know how many movies I took, but definitely got a couple. 4 or 5, maybe 20.
Yeah.
My fingers sometimes, when I touch things, there's this, the force. It doesn't repel. It's just like, it's like a magnet.
You're very, I'm going to borrow this and never give it back. And then you're going to be like,
I don't know
who really owns stuff?
Yeah.
Then you're going to be like, after that.
When I die, you can get it back. I'll leave it in my will for you. Here lies the body of this dumb Dominican. Here are all of his worldly possessions that he can't take to the grave with him. It's just stuff. It's just crap that we collect.
Yeah. It's crazy when people have like a crazy amount of like, because we were in the storage business.
We were.
And we saw how crazy that.
It's crazy to sell somebody space. You're selling them space.
I know.
To put their shit
That's a genius idea.
I guess.
I know you don't like talking about business, but like in a business aspect, people have this need to store stuff.
So people have an attachment to crap.
Yeah.
To materialistic crap.
But it's crazy because that's a business that barely fails if you do it right.
Yeah. And here's the thing with a business like that. You get let's call them tenants. You have 10 storage units. You rent them out to 10 different people. 5 of those people decide, I can't make the rent, so I'm not going to pay. So you take their stuff and sell it. On top of them not being able to pay their stuff, they're going to lose their stuff. You're going to sell their stuff in an auction, have that space again, and have made money off of things that never belonged to you. That's grimy, bro. You know why I don't like talking about business? Because business is grimy. Business is people just getting one over on each other.
I get it. So I won't ask you to be a partner of my storage facility when I open it up.
I'm good, bro.
No, I'll
help people move, though. I'll help people move stuff in the storage facility. But what you're gonna do with your money is on you. You can pay me for my services.
So I look at it
I don't feel bad for that.
So like in the realm of like real estate and looking at like that type of situation, the people who are running those like that section, they did it in a smart manner because they were getting screwed over. Where people were like 2-3 years with no paying of a bill.
Yeah, but how do you let something go that long? Like that's silly.
But also some of those things like. It's not like the shows, like, the shows they're like those storage wars where people are like, you're not going to find something fancy unless it's you might if it's somewhere like closer to the hills. And it's
who the hell's that rich that's going to store crap that's valuable?
There's people who do, like, just the process of moving. Anyways, so what they did, as far as like where we were working at, they were like, after 3 months, and we had to start telling them, like, after 3 months, it goes up for auction. And you can't. You either have to fight for it or, like, and people were like, whatever.
That's crazy.
And then 3 months would come in, they're like, no, I'm going to pay for it. And they're like, hey, auction's tomorrow. Like, you can come in and bid on it.
Yeah.
Which is, it is grimy, but it's all, like, in the aspect of, like, a business, you're like, that's just money coming in, bro.
That's grimy, bro. That's grimy.
But also, people have a need to store junk. We had to go and inspect those things before auction.
Does it justify selling something that somebody holds value in? Let's say Nana's fucking urn is in there, and you're gonna auction off somebody's dead grandmother.
But see, you can't. So when you go to, but check this out.
To you, it doesn't mean it's business. It's just the business.
No, so when you go in, you can't step foot inside and like rummage through stuff, right? So
they open it up, you take a look, and you bid on it from there.
Yeah, no, but even as like somebody, like you have to kind of change the locks, so you have to look. 90% of the time, it was trash that was being stored there.
One man's trash.
Another man's treasure. I understand that, but it was like legit trash.
You ever go to the junkyard and pick something up? Because I recently went to a junkyard.
Yeah, you're also
picked something up.
Yeah, you're picking up something that still works, something like machine.
How do you know?
But you're taking
a junkyard.
But you're using something that's being recycled. That you can actually use that to. There's people who store stuff. A majority of stuff that's being stored in those storage units usually are things that are never going to see the light of day.
I feel like it's a lot of stuff that people have sentimental value in that they just can't get rid of.
They're attached, and I understand that. But then there's also people like the guy I don't think you were
The
around.
magazine guy, the comic book guy.
Yeah, were you around for that?
Yeah, I was around for that.
Yo,
That dude got screwed.
It was no lie. It was literally just for everybody's watching. It was literally like at least $1 million worth.
Yeah, he got screwed.
And they were like, "We're not paying for any of it."
He had water damage. Yeah, he was supposed to be in a climate controlled room or whatever.
The third floor.
I guess the AC or whatever messed up. It rained. They got him in his unit. See, grimy. And is the business gonna care? No. That guy put something, which they're fucking comic books. Like, you place your kid's life, that has value. Yeah. Your life, your health, that has value. It's a book with some coloring and some words. Stop putting your heart into materialistic crap. What's that gonna get you? When you die and you have this never-ending collection of comic, like, what did that gain you? I had this really cool comic book collection and I just got hit by a car. Fuck.
No, I understand. Weird, I understand, but everybody has their thing. Like, I showed
I'm
you.
not knocking anybody.
Yeah, but like I showed you,
or what they hold like near and dear to them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that a business that sells you space is kind of crappy, like insurance companies.
Like,
I'm gonna take your money just in case something happens to you. So what if something never happens to you?
So check this out.
Then you paid for security, and when something does happen to you, they might not pay you what you thought you were gonna get.
So here's the thing, though. This is a poor mindset, right? Thinking let's talk financially, right?
Mm-hmm.
The poor mindset.
Going back to finances.
No, because I'm trying to show you.
Go for it.
Financially, a poor person thinks this is of value.
Mm-hmm.
The rich, monetarily rich, go, we'll do short term with a high interest payout, put their money in there, take out loans from the bank because the bank is a business, use the bank's money, and take out loans.
Just launders money.
Exactly.
It's professional money laundering.
And then their money that they put in, their personal money they put in there, now has gained interest when they pull it out because they can, because it's short term. They'll gain way more. So their money's working for them instead of going to the bank and getting it. Which, it's a little bit more detailed, but like that's why the rich use insurance for that purpose. They don't use it for...
Poor people work for money. Rich people make their money work for them.
You gotta be an investor and not a...
I get it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But like...
It's still grimy.
Yeah.
If you just think about just a dollar bill, that in and of itself. What does it say on the dollar bill?
The God we trust.
Yeah, you know why? Because it's bullshit. you're putting your faith in this little green dollar is gonna mean supposedly mean something. It's whatever you make it mean for you. Like, it's a piece of paper, bro.
Yeah.
It's just a piece of paper. That's all it is. But the stuff that people do to each other for that piece of paper, it's crazy.
Yeah. No, I know.
It goes to show you, like, we're what's wrong. The systems that we have in place, we made those systems. We're what's wrong. So, we're the ones that have to fix that.
Yeah. But see, like, even like the idea of like wanting to be rich and having all this stuff, to me, when you're younger, you are like, okay, you get
want that.
But then you realize, like, I just want to be able to do the stuff that I love doing, so I just need some capital, that's all. You don't have to go crazy with it, like...
Because this is the system that we live in. We need money to do stuff. Yeah. Which is understandable, but do you find happiness in having money so you can do those things? Or can you make your own happiness?
No, you can make your own happiness. That's like when these interviewers or reporters ask like people like Nina Simone and Bob Marley, and that one clip of Bob Marley where he's like, "Are you a rich man?" And he's like, "What do you mean by rich?
Does money make you rich?"
Yeah. It resonates. I think about that. But you also look at like stuff like, I can't pick this business that I'm trying off the ground without capital. So you think of it in the sense of like, I got to make some money. But it's not because I want to be splurging and pulling up and showing off. Those people have no like concept of like...
There's ego behind it.
Yes. Where more is like, I just want to be happy doing what I do, even if it's something small and, you're not... Like, there's somebody... Or, for example, piraguas, right? in New York, that's only for spring to the beginning of fall, and that's it. I'm pretty sure that guy was not walking around hating life. We don't know anybody's like personal, but like the guy who used to sell piraguas probably found love in selling piraguas. Like
he brought something from his country to the U.S.
and he's making
and he's
money.
Sharing it with his people from his country, making money off of it.
Yeah, and it's just like because it goes back into a business. It goes, and then I think when you don't allow it to take over you in that sense, like where you become like you don't become like a Mayweather, where it's like I'm gonna talk to you guys with $3 million on the table. Like, for what? What do you? That doesn't do anything to me. That doesn't make me excited about your like. Career.
He's a famous boxer.
Yeah,
the one thing that he can't control is his ego.
Yeah, so like, but I look at it like you got to be able to like, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind having this amount of money to take care of what I got to take care of, but also you want to put that into doing something that gives back, right? Like, I'm not saying you got to be a philanthropist, but you want to be able to do something that gives back to something somehow, but not with like doing it for show either.
Yeah.
Because there's those people who are like, I made all this money and now we're gonna go and build this. There's a lot of people that I've known that are doing shit behind the scenes that you'd be like, oh, like that's what's up, like, I just all at the end of the day, that's all it is ego. Everybody has like a
money's a strange thing, man. Think about the situation we're in, like this country finds itself in now.
Yeah.
Like inflation is crazy right now. There's wars going on, conflicts going on in other countries. We're not in a position where financially we're supposed to be bailing anybody out of any problems that they have, because according to our debt clock, we're in an absurd amount of debt. So how the hell is it that we're printing out money to give other countries when we have starving people in this country that don't have money, people that are homeless in this country, yet we're printing money to give people in other countries?
So this goes back.
Weird.
So this goes back.
Money's a weird thing, man. The things people do for money, the things people do with money, strange, man.
So this goes back to, is Elon gonna die a hero or a villain?
How?
Right? So I'm gonna break this down to you, right? They gave him a hard time about his taxes. And he goes, if you can show me a way to solve world hunger, I'll dump those $1 billion into world hunger. They gave him like something, and then he buys a couple months later buys Twitter for $50 billion for the sake of freedom of speech.
I'm not connecting those dots. You like legit lost me somewhere.
So Elon Musk,
I'm still on the doc, like, yo.
So Elon Musk was criticized by, I think, Nancy Pelosi for taxes.
For
right?
taxes.
And he goes, I'm willing to,
out of all people.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, whatever.
So
it's a free market.
Yeah. So like he goes, if you guys can tell me how to fix a problem like world hunger, I'll put that money into fixing world hunger.
Yeah. Did they come up with ideas for him to fix world hunger?
I want to say they did.
And what were the ideas? And did he implement those ideas to end world hunger?
So nothing is happening, right?
Okay.
So a couple months go by, and then Twitter is up for sale. And that's not up for sale.
It wasn't up for sale. He was like, yo, give me the keys, mother.
Yeah, and then they were like, no, because they know that he's always gone against the grain with a lot of things. And he's like, no, this is for the sake of being able to say what you want.
Losing control of the conversation.
But then the investors were like, sell to him, because there's no way that they're gonna ever offer us that amount, because it's valued at $30 billion and he's giving us 50, $20 billion, and that's a long stretch.
Yeah.
Like, so he
keep going.
So he buys it, and now so everybody's all happy about it. I think the whole process of the whole Twitter thing is, I have a different look on it, but it's just.
What's your look? What's your outlook on that?
So.
What do you think he's gonna do with that, with Twitter? Can't believe I'm having this conversation.
I'm saying powerful men in the sense of the business, right? Powerful men. It's like how Rockefeller, at the end of his life, decided to do a whole bunch of
philanthropic things?
Yeah, work to put his name on buildings for his legacy.
It's ego. pure ego.
So I think, like, I don't think he's a bad person. I think he's a smart, like, individual.
He looks up to Edison.
But, like...
Because Edison was a good businessman.
Yeah.
He's a piece of shit, but he's a good businessman.
Yeah. And
if you're looking at it in terms of this guy brought his products to the world, he was able to mass produce what he or somebody's idea was. Yeah. Tesla wasn't.
Yeah. Now,
it did make him a good businessman, but was he a good person?
No.
That's up for debate. Everybody's gonna feel a little different.
But it's crazy. I have this book, and it's called "What Would Machiavelli Do?" And it's a book. It's written by a business this guy who like owns like a Fortune 500 company, and he did it under a pseudonym or whatever. So he wrote this book, and you realize how like those people, these powerful people, just you can't. How we're talking about this show, Sons. It's about one thing and one thing only, and you care about if you can't hurt your feelings if you only think about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, and in that realm, you have these people who just have money to throw around to be like, and then you have like somebody like Bezos, right, who bought the Washington Post, who can be like, you can't trash talk me, so put this article that's good, put me in a good light. Yeah. But Bezos and Musk, there's like beef.
A lot of billionaires that have done the same thing.
Yeah.
They bought different companies that I guess you consider them like media outlets.
Yeah, because that's...
If you own that, you own the narrative.
And that's what... Again, going back to like who writes history.
Yeah.
That's that idea of like, so we're like, for us, but for the individual that just takes information as is, they're looking at Twitter like, oh, he's getting a free speech Twitter and blah blah blah. I think it's a little bit more.
What the hell is that? Like, I find that, I don't know, man.
Because you don't use it, so you don't really see it.
Like, free speech. They're censoring us on this platform. Like, people put a lot of stock into this digital platform. Like, does free speech stop because you can't say what you want on Twitter? Can you not still speak the words that you want to speak to a person?
So that's what happened.
Have a conversation with a human being?
So that's what happened with Trump. So where they basically like banned him because he was just being who he was, right?
Trump is a Trump.
Yeah. So he built his own social media platform.
How's that doing?
I have no idea because I'm not a follower of Trump. So like, I could care less. But it goes to like, all right, you got this rich person, this millionaire, billionaire, whatever, who's gonna create something to control a narrative. Yeah. Because that's all. At the end of the day, that's all it is. It's a narrative.
I feel like it's a funny thing for. Let's use your example before about the rich people in those buildings up past 9W, past the railroad, and the people at the bottom of 9W. For the poor people, or the regular people, to look up at, oh, Elon Musk just bought Twitter, we're going to have free speech. You're a bunch of poor people happy that this billionaire has nothing to worry about in terms of what you worry about on a daily basis. He's not worried about where his next meal's going to come from, like most people are. We're supposed to put our stock in him saving free speech on this platform on the internet? Bro, what were to happen, let's what if the situation, if we didn't have Twitter, if the internet went down, does free speech go away because Twitter no longer exists? Free speech is free speech. Yeah. Like, you can say whatever the hell you want to. Nobody can, that's not something somebody can take from you. Yeah. You could be in prison with your prison guard whipping your ass for whatever you say. Doesn't mean you have to stop saying it. Yeah. If you believe your speech is free, you exercise that free speech. Yeah. You say what you want. If somebody has a gun to your head and they're like, the next word you say could end your life, cool. That's still your choice. Yeah. You still have the freedom to make that choice. Free speech lies with you. Yeah. Now with anybody, no billionaires, no Twitter, none of that crap.
So
free speech is spoken by you.
Yeah. I think also over here,
and it's funny to think like, oh, our free speech comes from these government documents that were made from people that came to this country and oppressed a nation of people that were already here. You're gonna tell me this is free speech? They didn't get to learn for free. Yeah. They didn't get to speak their mind and continue with their rituals and culture. What happened to the majority of Native American people from this country? Where's their free speech?
Yeah.
Like, all of that those are fucking silly ideas for people to wrap their heads around while dealing with the struggles of everyday life. What you're worried about is, do I have a place to live, place to sleep, food? Am I safe? Stuff that you really need to worry about. You're sitting here worried about, oh, my speech isn't free. Who's stopping it from being free? No. I get it. You're not able to convey your message through this platform. And not everybody's message is the right message. Who gives a Frenchman's fuck?
Yeah. But also, like, a lot of people that complain over here, they got it easy when you look at the rest of the world.
Especially in the U.S., yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people who get stoned still for speaking whatever they want to
get acid thrown in their face for wanting to go to school without a veil on their face.
Yeah. So, so my question is does Elon live long enough to see himself become the villain? Or
that's the expression from Batman, wasn't it? Yeah. You live long enough. Wait, what was it? Something that Harvey Dent said.
Yeah, you die a hero or live
long enough to become a villain. Yeah, that's what it was.
At the end of the day,
I believe in Harvey Dent. Even he had two faces.
So when it comes to just that stuff, I have Twitter, but only because I've been watching the market. Because I dabble in the crypto stuff.
Even that, look, if you think about what is that? A sanctioned gambling.
Yeah.
Yet gambling, you can't do it in this state and that state, and you have to be a certain age to do it. But the stock market, funny money, like I like to call it, crypto, that's all gambling.
Yeah.
That's all that is. And when you win at gambling, the government takes part of your winning, like they did something for it. When you work, they take money from you, so it was them who punched in the manual labor.
So this is how you get that back.
This is nuts.
I'm not a tax advisor nor a financial advisor. I have to say this. Disclaimer. Jordan. But if you show your losses, you get money. You get money back. So
yeah,
because I owed the Fed money this year, and then I showed my crypto losses,
and they were like, "Damn!"
They were like,
"Give this guy a break."
They're like, "Get this guy."
This guy's not becoming rich anytime soon. So let's just give him some of these scraps.
Because it is a gamble. There's coins that I invest in. It's all a gamble.
You know how the stock market became the stock market? It started off as a carnival game, bro.
Yeah.
This.
All I'm gonna say is this.
Weird system, man.
Yeah.
Hey, bro. This is strange. All of this is strange. We value but humanity values strange things like a nice car, a nice phone.
Yes, because that's all
that's what you're conditioned
to be materialistic.
Believe matters.
I didn't mean to buy that $30 tamper, but I also saw the tamper, the thing that pushes the espresso.
Yeah.
But then I saw how much the other one cost, and I was like, I'll buy the knockoff because obviously it was what I do, is what I film and stuff like that. But
that keeps China in business. Ooh.
Yeah, but see, even that. Let's talk about that real quick before we sign off. If it was made here, how expensive do you think things would be? Think about that. How expensive things would be if it said made in the U.S.
Why would they be more expensive?
Because
you think they would be more expensive if they were easily accessible?
And built here, everything was all the resources and everything was
supply demand. If we're supplying everything, if we're building it here in this country, why would it be expensive to us? It would be expensive to other people to import.
I don't think so. I think if an iPhone or even a Samsung was built here and not overseas,
do you think it'd be more money?
Yeah.
Why?
we're arrogant motherfuckers.
Why would it be more expensive?
I think it would.
No, that's not how that works.
I think so.
What? I'm gonna take it down to like a 21-year-old's level. What's more expensive? Regular beer or imported beer? Beer made in this country or beer that you get from another country?
True.
There you go. Problem solved.
But I think the nature of
Judge rules, I win.
Yeah.
We all lose, bro.
But also,
we all lose.
No, here's the argument. It would be more expensive because you would have to pay more to get it done. You'd have to pay employees more money to do that. Like, across the board, across the sea, it's a lot of slave labor or labor without any regulations.
Yeah.
You seen like how like there's some places in China that people gotta basically sleep.
Amazon.
Yes, but they don't pay their workers. You can work at McDonald's and make more money than a worker that's in Amazon.
Hey man, I used to be an EMT, and while I was an EMT getting paid $15 an hour, there was people that worked at fast food restaurants, without naming any, that were making $5-6 more than me on average for doing the job they're doing. Now I'm not knocking your job. This has more value than this. Yeah. But in the grand scheme of things, would you think you would pay somebody who saved Nana's life a little bit more money than the person who made you your bacon, egg, and cheese in the morning? Do you think it'd be better? But
yeah.
That's not how it worked out.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So like you would have, if you took all the stuff that goes into making a phone or a piece of technology, I'm pretty sure people are going to start. The reason why people at McDonald's are getting paid close to $18 an hour and not what it used to be.
$18 an hour doesn't mean shit.
Not anymore, but people said, all right, these McDonald's workers protested, right? And they made their voice, freedom of speech. They made their voice heard.
They made it count, yeah.
So, like, that's where it's like, okay, like.
But they have to get to that point, like those dudes from Amazon are trying to do now.
Yeah. And it's known that Amazon has some messed up like things, but the problem is, as the consumer, we don't care because how easy is to. You still use Amazon?
I can't say I don't. Okay. Yeah, I'll still use it from time to time. But
you're still using it because of what? Is it convenience?
No, not because it's convenient.
I'm not saying
because what I'm looking for, I can find there. Sometimes the things that I'm looking for, I can't find in a regular store. Yeah. But if I go on Amazon, I'm like, oh, wait, they have this. Yeah. I was looking for a visor for a 2008 Tacoma. I went to the junkyard. I could have gotten from Toyota. You know how much Toyota wanted to charge me for it? It was absurd. So where did I go looking? Maybe they sell it online somewhere. I looked online and I found it for like $30.
Where was it made?
Where was it made? I have no idea.
Yeah, I bet you it wasn't in the U.S.
90% chance it was made in Taiwan or some shit.
Yeah, so like, but what I'm getting at is like, at the end of the day, if it's stuff that we built here, it's going to be.
Look where I went first to find it. I went to the damn junkyard to repurpose something.
Yeah.
That might have already been used that somebody thought was crap.
Okay, so I buy a lot of film equipment. It's what I do, right? Majority of the times, I can't find it in these stores. Amazon's my place.
That, yeah.
So I go to Amazon a lot. You kind of like the consumers are part of the problem, but nobody's gonna be like, today we're having an Amazon day where nobody buys anything. You can't do that. It's the same thing with gas.
You could try, but nobody actually tries.
The same thing with the whole gas situation. Gas is up $6. If everybody just said for one day, this has always been the argument. If nobody got gas today, these gas companies would lose billions of dollars.
A lot of money.
Nah, but everybody's on board.
You know why? Because some people were like, yo, I need to get this gas to get to the job that I need to go to and do these hours so I can put food on the table for my children.
Yeah.
So, like, here's the thing. Those people are in this belief, like, wait a minute. Did cavemen need to go to work to get money for food for their children? Did Native American people, prior to...
You know why?
Colonization, did they need to go punch in to get these pieces of paper that we value? It's your choice. It's your choice. You could sit there and be like, you know what? the system.
It's
I'm gonna go live in the mountains, forage for food, make my own home. You can do that. You can do that.
It's because
just make sure you do it on. You don't do it on state-owned land.
Yeah. So here's and I agree with you 100%.
It's all crap.
And the reason why that is different from society today is because problems we have now, not you personally, but like in general, the society problems that are now didn't exist back then. We weren't dependent on a lot of things that people have become dependent on.
What are we dependent on though? What changed from then
the average person
to now?
The average person does not know how to do what you're saying, like go and hunt for their food. Doesn't know how to store food.
George, we don't know shit until we learn. If it's a necessity, if you need it, what's changed from the beginning of time for humans, from then to now? What changed? What necessities that we have today have changed? Yeah. We need food, shelter. We need to feel safe. Yeah. How do you accomplish those things?
That's what I'm saying. Like we've
how
created.
Do you get shelter?
In the process of making our lives easier, we also become so dependent on stuff that we made our life difficult in the sense of like the average person doesn't know how to do certain things. Mm-hmm. You clog the bathroom. Back then, it was more like you're going outside in a hole. Mm-hmm. Like then there was the outhouse, and then all of a sudden they have a piping system. Mm-hmm. The pipe bust. Then you build something, but like the average person is not like. Let's put it like this: I think manual labor is losing it. Not everywhere, but a majority of the things that deal with manual labor have lost their, like, because of technology. People are not doing what it used to be.
Do you think that's true though?
Because life has become easier.
You think about this for example, because you're saying specifically with manual labor. What's farming? Manual labor, right?
Yeah, but
has that lost its value?
No.
Do we still not absolutely need farmers?
Yeah, we absolutely do. And I think
if you don't know how to grow food on your own, you better believe you need somebody else that knows how to grow food in order for you to get that.
And that's why I'm waiting for lab meat. I'm just joking.
Get out of here. They already have lab meat.
I know they do.
Beyond Burgers, all of that.
Yeah, I won't touch that. Yeah, no, but I think like in general.
How does one person, you know how much farmland Gates owns?
I know.
That's nobody. No one person should own that much land. No one person should own that much land. Have you been paying attention to what's been happening to like food processing plants and stuff like that?
No.
How they've been catching fire and being blown up?
Oh yeah. Recently, like out of nowhere, yeah.
Start connecting those dots, man. I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything, but I do sit back.
He made an appearance. Bravo Rogan appeared. No, but
I do make it a point to sit back and look at the bigger picture of things. I'm not saying this is happening for one reason or another. I'm just sitting there saying simply that I'm sitting back with my eyes open, receiving input, and I'm just analyzing that input.
Yeah, we're about to think. Guys, thank you for watching another episode of George R.S. Coffee. And
more conspiracies for you some other day.
Another time. We did good today.